2 weeks from now, Griff is going to be released in Brawl Stars. But in just 1 week, you have a chance to win him for free an entire week before you can get him in Brawl Boxes. There's going to be a 15-win challenge that starts on July 23rd. Less than 1% of all players will win the whole thing and will get Griff for free. With the help of 26 pro players that know Brawl Stars even better than I do, I'm about to give you the ultimate guide to win Griff for free. We're talking best brawlers, best star powers and gadgets, and the ultimate strategies to help you win. And it wouldn't be possible without my awesome announcer voice. For the first map, okay, I can't keep doing this. First map is Pinhole Punt, wins 1 through 3. First up is Crow with his slowing toxin gadget and his extra toxic star power. You're gonna notice some numbers on this guide. What I did is I asked all the pros what are the best brawlers for this map. I had them select at least 3 brawlers. The percentage you're seeing is how many of the pros selected Crow out of all the brawlers as one of the best brawlers for the map. Because Crow was picked less than 50%, I put a red frame on him, meaning that like he might be good if you play him well, especially if you're using his slowing toxin gadget. That is like, you must play it, and you have to be really careful about how you play it because this gadget is what actually makes Crow usable. You have to use it either to get goals or to prevent the enemy from getting goals, and not just to get kills. Next is Spike with his life plant gadget. It's way more useful than his first gadget. Most pros actually prefer Curveball for his star power, but Fertilize can work. Next we have Gene. 63% of the pros agreed that he was one of the best brawlers for this map, and you're gonna see this for Gene throughout the rest of this video. Always use his lamp blowout gadget and his magic puff star power because they just provide way more value than the other options. Then we have Ems. I think there's a good argument for bad karma, especially in the meta where we're seeing a lot of tanks. However, the pros still agree that Hype is typically the better star power for her. Next we have Sandy, and you'll notice the gold frame. That means that more than 75% of the pros selected Sandy as one of the best brawlers for this map. Now his new Sweet Dreams gadget is actually way better than I thought it was going to be, and it does a pretty good job at allowing your team to actually score a goal. Just remember not to deal damage after they're put asleep for 1.5 seconds. But what it's even better at doing is allowing you to do a really solid defense because he just uses that gadget, attacks the enemy, and they can't score the goal. For star power, Healing Winds is a really solid star power. However, for this map, you do want Rude Sands because it's going to let you know where the enemy is if they're hiding in these bushes. Next, we have Tara with her Support from Beyond gadget. This is the better option on this map because it does such a good job against brawlers that do not deal splash damage, like Stu, who's really popular. Now, the pros agree that it comes down to personal preference when you come to her star powers. However, I prefer her Healing Shade star power. Next, we have Stu with his Breakthrough gadget. This is really useful for breaking the enemy walls here, and possibly even here if you can get there. And because spawns actually get destroyed whenever you score a goal in Brawl Ball, his Speed Zone gadget actually doesn't get that much use. Now, for his star power, it really comes down to personal preference. Both of them are really good. However, Zero Drag is my preferred star power for Stu on this map because it gives you that extra mobility that's really useful in Brawl Ball. Next, we have B with her Honey Molasses gadget. It provides a lot more value than Rattled Hive does right now, especially on defense, and her Insta B-Load star power is the preferred one by the pros right now. And for the best brawler on this map, we have Belle, where 92% of the pros actually selected her as the best one. Now, definitely use her positive feedback star power. It's just way better than the other option. Now, let's talk about some general strategies that the pros gave me. Everything in this video is the pros. If I say my personal preference, I will tell you that it's me. The pros gave me some general tips and strategies that are going to be really good for helping you win this map. First of all, you want to control the mid with at least one long-range brawler, like Belle or B. If one brawler by themselves can hold the center, then do it and split into 3 different lanes. Otherwise, 2 brawlers should be in the center to try and control this area because it's really important. And then whoever your third player is has got to go on this side or on this side. As for best comps, it really comes down to picking either Belle or B. And from there, you've got Stu, Tara, and Sandy, which are all amazing options to pick from for your second and third brawler. Now, for our 9th brawler, you'll notice the red frames. We have a 4-way tie between Brock, Daryl, Dynamite, and Stu. They're not as recommended as the pros. However, there are 33% of them that's actually said that they were some of the best for the map. So you can consider them. They're clearly better options. Next, we have BB. The pros agree that it really comes down to personal preference which star power you select. However, I prefer her home run star power for the movement speed on this. It's really useful because there's a lot of footage to cover here, and this just gives her an advantage in that area. Next, we have Nida. Now, for Nida, you want the shield with her faux fur. It's really strong, and you want it paired with her hyper bear star power. You guys know that if that bear gets on the enemy safe, it is game over for the enemy. For Ems, either star power works. I prefer bad karma because you're going to be dealing a little bit more damage against the safe on this map. However, the pros agree that it's personal preference for this map. Next, we have El Primo, who's stronger than he ever was, but still isn't as meta as I expected he would be by the pros in this guide. Either gadget or either star power works. I prefer his Meteor gadget to try and destroy these walls, and I like his El Fuego star power for the additional damage if he happens to be able to get a super on the enemy safe. However, the pros agree this is personal preference for El Primo. Primo on this map. Next is Spike with that gold frame. Over 75% of the pros selected him as one of the best for the maps. You want his popping pin cushion gadget for this map because if you can get to the enemy safe and pop it just right, not only will you be popping the enemy safe, you'll also be popping the dreams of your opponents. His star power is personal preference, however, Curveball provides a little bit more value in my opinion. Next, we got Rico with his new bouncy castle gadget, which is apparently ridiculously strong. The pros all agree that this gadget is insane, especially on this map because there are so many different places where he can just heal instantly, super quickly. Fire off in there, get 3 bounces, you're good. Fire off right here, you're good. Do it right here if you can, you're good. As for his star power, it's personal preference. I prefer Robo Retreat. Next is Bull. Either gadget can be good. I prefer T-Bone in Heist because it helps him survive a little bit more on the enemy side of the map. Stomper is usually more about trying to get kills, and Heist is less about that and more about just staying alive over there. And by a landslide, arguably the best brawler for this map is Barley, where 96% of the pros selected him as one of the best for this map. For his gadget, it really comes down to personal preference. Sticky Syrup Mixer is going to be a lot better on defense. It's going to help him deal with those tanks. And his Herbal Tonic gadget is going to help him and his teammates stay alive when they're trying to take out the enemy safe. Because there are quite a few brawlers on this map that are going to be a little bit more close range, I think his Sticky Syrup Mixer is my personal choice. However, you do want to go with his extra noxious star power for the extra additional damage on the enemy safe. Now let's talk best strategies and best brawlers. You're going to want to bring at least one wall breaker on this map to try and get rid of this wall right here. Bull is a really great option. El Primo is a really great option. And you could also go with Brock or even Dynamite or maybe even Stu with his new gadget. In fact, one of the best strategies is actually Barley with 2 tanks. Barley's goal is to try and focus on anti-tank brawlers like Rico or Spike or Ems and possibly even Nida. And the tank's job is to just come around to the side and just bully the enemy team and take out the safe. Now, one thing about this map, it really is okay for you to base race against the enemy team. You just want to be really careful that the enemy team doesn't come down to your safe with a brawler like Spike or Barley that can deal a lot of damage. So do not ignore those 2 brawlers, but pretty much everybody else, if you have a high DPS team, you absolutely can just race to the enemy safe and just take it out. If you want to play this map safe, I recommend Barley and Bull for like really going on offense and then having Rico or Spike for defense. When I say that, I don't mean just hang back over here. You do want to try and go on offense. You want to try and put people back, but Rico and Spike are both really good at dealing with those tanky brawlers, which is why I say use them for defense. Next is wins 7 through 9 on assembly attack in Siege. First, we have Spike, not recommended so much. I prefer Fertilize for his star power on this map just to help him stay alive a little bit. Plus it pairs with his life plant cactus and actually heals his cactus. So that's really cool and can actually be used to tank against the enemy Ike or the Siege bot. El Primo is also not recommended so much, but it's close, 42%. That's actually pretty good. You could play either of these if you really wanted to. His Suplex supplement is going to be a little bit better on defense. However, his Asteroid gadget will help you destroy this wall, which is a really big deal actually. Next is Amber. You want the star power that will allow her to have 2 puddles on the ground, will automatically charge her super. For Jean, once again, Lamp Blowout and Magic Puffs. Then we have Sandy. Now, Sandy's new gadget is really amazing. It is great, but you have to remember that the enemy brawler wakes up if they take any damage. So don't use it against an enemy bot when your turret is trying to take it out. Instead, it's better to use it while you're trying to grab the bolts in the center to gain some control. For the star power, the pros agree that it comes down to personal preference. I prefer his Healing Sands for this map. Next is Stu with his Breakthrough gadget. You're going to want to save that at least once for you to be able to just blast through the center. And if you're playing against throwers, I highly recommend getting rid of this wall and probably this wall as well. For star power, either one is great. I prefer his Gasso heal on here because mobility isn't so much an issue on Siege as being able to just stay alive is. Next is Carl, and you absolutely want his Flying Hook gadget. And you want to start it at the very start of the match so you can grab the first bolt because that first bolt is incredibly important. According to the pros, both star powers are really great. I prefer his Power Throw star power. And then we have Belle, who's just really strong and is a really great option, especially playing mid right here. Now, Barley's the only brawler for this map that more than 75% of the brawlers selected as one of the best. Both gadgets are good. I prefer Herbal Tonic for this map, and you want his extra noxious star power for the additional damage. Let's talk about those OP strategies. It is a really good idea for you to have at least one brawler on your team that can go early on and grab that first bolt. We're talking about like Carl with his Power Throw, or possibly even Buzz with his gadget that allows him to pull up forward. Buzz, BB, and Mortis are not on this list, but all of them are really solid options to have as your third brawler because that first bolt and getting that first bot, it's so important. That can be the difference in a pro match which team wins. At the very start of the match when you first spawn, several pros recommend bringing 2 of your brawlers to wherever the bolt spawns. If it spawns here, you have 2 go here, and the third is going to go on the other side so that once this bolt gets picked up, then the other person is ready to pick up the second bolt. And you want to flip that if the first bolt spawns right here. For the ultimate team comp, I would recommend Barley, Bell for defense, and Carl to grab that first bolt, and that's a really solid option. However, you will not have a way to break the enemy walls, so keep that in mind. For wins 10 through 12 is going to be Bounty, and you're going to be playing that on Layered Cake. With only 33% confidence, we've got Penny. Captain's Compass gadget is going to be better than most of the time, because you're going to be facing off against a lot of long-range brawlers. You're not typically going to want to destroy her turret once it's up, especially on this map. Balls of Fire is going to be the better star power for her. It's going to give you way more control against skilled players. Mr. P, there is a really solid argument for either gadget or either star power. Service Bell seems to be slightly more preferred by the pros. However, it comes down to personal preference. And for star power, I still prefer a handle with Kair. However, there are plenty of walls where you're not going to get full range from that. So a star power that spawns porters more quickly is also a really solid option. Next is Mortis. Either gadget really comes down to personal preference. I prefer his combo spinner for an instant attack. And for a star power, why would you play anything other than Coiled Snake? It's just way better. Next, we got Jean, obviously Lamp Blowout with Magic Puffs. And now we're jumping from a 67% confidence rate to an 88% confidence rate with Tick using his last hurrah gadget and his well-oiled star power. A similar confidence, we have Belle and Piper. For Piper, you do want to use her homemade recipe gadget for that additional range and a little bit easier shots, and Ambush is just great on this map because there's plenty of bushes for her to snipe from. For Sprout, you want to play Garden Mulcher plus its Photosynthesis star power. This combo is just way too strong on maps with any amount of bush, and this map has a lot of bush, so I don't know why you would pick anything less. And a similar confidence of also 92%, we have Brock with his Rocket Fuel gadget and his Incendiary star power. His Rocket Fuel gadget is going to be really helpful to destroy these two walls, which is going to get rid of enemy defenses and just allow you to just destroy the enemy team. And Incendiary is slightly preferred by the pros. However, there is an argument to use Rocket number 4, so keep that in mind if that is your personal preference. Let's give you those quick tips, guys. Absolutely 100% of the time for this match, you want to be playing this as 3 separate lanes. Do not bunch up on this map. It will be your downfall. You also really want to avoid getting spawn trapped on this map as much as possible, especially since brawlers only respawn with 1 ammo now. If you do get spawn trapped, destroy this wall, and this wall by any means necessary, because that's going to really open things up and allow you to escape from here, because you'll have the advantage when you first respawn and you have that shield. Now, if the enemy team is playing short range brawlers, once again, you want to break this wall and this wall so that they are going to really struggle to be able to come down and make their way over here without any cover. As for recommended team comps, you want to have at least 1 thrower, either Sprout or Tick. Both of them are amazing options. I have a slight preference over Sprout on this map, but Tick is insanely good as well. And then you're going to want 1 or 2 long-range brawlers. And for those brawlers, you got Brock, Belle, and Piper. Once again, it comes down to personal preference. I really like Belle, but Brock's gonna be able to help open up walls, which is really useful on this map. Your third brawler option, once again, a long-range brawler, or you could go with some type of an assassin like Mortis to try and counter these long-range brawlers that struggle in a close-range fight. However, a lot of those brawlers now have answers against close range assassins because of like useful gadgets and other strategies, and people just learned how to get better around assassins, which is why Mortis was only selected as one of the best by 42% of the pros. If you're good at playing assassins, you can do it and destroy the enemy team. Otherwise, it's a good idea to have 1 thrower and 2 long range brawlers. Your final wins 13 through 15, where you're actually going to win Griff, is going to be in Gem Grab on a cute angle. Versus Barley, less than 50% of the pros actually selected him. Pros agree that both his star power and his gadget's personal preference. I prefer his Sticky Syrup Mixer gadget with his medical use star power for that additional healing. Next is Surge, and his first upgrade is absolutely the hardest to get, which is why his Served Ice Cold star power is the better one right now. Then we have Sprout, same really great combination. There is an argument to be made about using a different gadget, simply because there's not like a ton of walls, but playing Sprout right here is like really strong. And if you can push up over here, it's really strong as well. Next we have Amber with her first star power, where you can have 2 puddles, is obviously the better option. Next we have Tara. Now for both her gadget and her star power, it comes down to personal preference, and that's according to the pro players. However, when you're playing on this map, this bush is very scary, because if an enemy gets in here, they can just come right in here, take out your gem carrier, and completely control this side off right there, which is why I prefer her Psychic Enhancer gadget. Either way though, you can bring Tara with her Support from Beyond gadget, where she spawns all those shadows, and then you'll be able to know if somebody's in this bush. Just make sure you're aware of this bush. As for star power, I prefer her Healing Shade star power a lot. Next, we have Sandy with his newest gadget. For his star powers, you can go either way. I prefer rude stands so that you can tell where people are in these bushes. Next is Stu with his first gadget to help break through walls. And either star power is great. I prefer Gasso Heal on this map because mobility isn't so much important on Gem Grab. Then we have Belle with her first star power, a great midline brawler. And the only brawler that was recommended by 75% or more of the players is Jean. Always Lamp Blowout, always Magic Puffs. And these are the pro strategies that are gonna help you win right here. Since there is water blocking off the enemy spawn and your spawn, you absolutely must prevent yourself from getting spawn trapped because there are 2 lanes right here. Yeah, you can come over here, but it's pretty much just 2 lanes right here. And these aren't walls. You can't destroy this water, which means that you can get stuck in a spawn trap. Now here's what you need to do if you want to spawn trap the enemy team. Obviously, if the enemy team bunches up right here, you split up into 3 different lanes. You're gonna be able to kill them super easily and it's not gonna be a concern. But if they are smart players, which they will be, because this is going to be the final map, they're going to split up into 3 separate lanes as well. The mid lane brawler has to just focus on staying alive. You don't want to make too many risky plays as mid lane brawler. The left and the right lane brawlers, your whole goal is for you to get 1 kill. You got to get that kill. You got to win your lane. Once you win your lane, you come up right here, and once you're in this bush, you can take care of gem carriers. You can push them back right here, and then the enemy gem carrier and this brawler over here is going to be forced to fall back. That's going to allow your gem carrier to come up right here and shoot from a long distance away and control this section, which is going to lead to a 2v1 situation where you're going to be able to take out their brawler right here. Once the enemy team is spawn trapped back here, congratulations. All you need is your left and right lane brawlers to pretty much stay right here. You don't want to push too far up. About like right here and right here is actually perfect. Then with your gem carrier standing right here, they're going to be able to help 2v1 whichever brawler tries to come either to the left or the right side. For the best team comp, you want to have at least 1 long range brawler to be your gem carrier. The best 2 are going to be Jean or Belle. Make sure you have one of those 2. Then you'll want a control brawler like Sandy or Tara to come over to this right side, get access to this bush, and once Tara charges her super, you pretty much win. And once Sandy just uses his gadget, you pretty much win as well. For your 3rd brawler, you could pretty much go with anyone else on this list. If you play both Belle and Jean, you want to have Belle in the center, and Jean is usually going to be over on the left side. And if you play both Sandy or Tara, they can either take left or right side. And there you have it, the ultimate guide to help you guys win Griff for free. These are the 26 pros that helped put this strategy guide together. Make sure you guys give them a follow on YouTube or Twitter or wherever you can. And if you like this video, make sure you guys subscribe for more quality content. I also have a couple of other really awesome videos right here that you can check out. And don't forget to use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.